Hey everybody, welcome back to Hanging with Hodge for part 2 of our experiment to see which yeast I prefer taste-wise. So as I said, and other people have covered what the difference is between the yeast, but one of the things that you don't get is what do they actually taste like unless you taste it yourself. Because what I like, you may say, Hodge, that's crap. And vice versa. So, to each their own. I make my mead my way, you make it yours, and make sure to follow best practices. So again, everything here is sterilized. Sanitized. There is a difference. Everything's sanitized using Star San. We do have an upcoming video on that. I think that one is going to be interesting. But so we've got our 71B, our EC-1118, our D47, and our K1V-1116. We're going to give each one of them a taste, see how we like them, and give you our thoughts on them. We're also going to take our reading, and then once we get done with our tasting off camera, I'm going to go ahead and rack these over to 1 gallon jugs that I've got sitting over there. Actually, I've got 1 gallon jugs or 1 gallon carboys and half gallon carboys, because if you remember, when I make mead, I add 4 pounds of honey to 1 gallon of water. A lot of other places, they say use 3 gallons of honey, or 3 pounds of honey, not 3 gallons, good Lord, that'd be a lot. 3 pounds of honey and then fill to 1 gallon. So let's go ahead and see what we like here. All right then. And I also have my bucket of Star San sanitizer over here, so I can rinse everything as I get done with it. And that went right over. Yeah. Yeah, we're at just below 1.0. So we're done. This is dry. And for those of you who know me and have been around the channel for a while, you know I like dry meads. So our first glass that we're using is actually from the Thirsty Owl Wine Company. So Wendy and I went on a wine tasting in August. And we went out to the Finger Lakes region in New York. If you haven't been there, it's really cool. They've got wineries up and down the lakes. You can actually rent a boat or get on these boat tours, and it'll take you around to different wineries, which is really cool. We were signed up to do that. Unfortunately, ours got canceled, part of everything that's going on in the world. And so ours got canceled. We ended up driving around, but one of the ones we went to was the Thirsty Owl Wine Company. They had some really good wines, a little bit more acidic, but I thought it was still really good, and we bought several bottles from there. So definitely a lot of heat on that one there. We'll just add a little bit more. A little bit more, a little bit more. And since everything is sanitized, I'll go ahead and put this back in. Actually, I'm going to put it into my first bottle because I don't want to stir up the leaves that are in there. All right. Now, we'll give this a rinse. Rinse everything off really good. Resanitize. Right. I'm just going to cover this back up for a minute. So we'll end up doing a side-by-side for each one of these here. All right then. Now next we're going to do the 71B. All right, so where was I before I was so rudely interrupted by my camera deciding that it wanted more battery power? So when I first started making mead, the main one that I used, main yeast I used was EC-1118. Pretty much, if you're starting off, this is a good one to go to from the aspect that it's pretty hard to mess up with EC-1118. Some of the other ones can be a little bit touchy. As I said, I haven't tried the K1V-1116. This will be the first time that I try it, but we're going to give it a shot here. All right, so now we're on to our 71B, which has recently become one of my favorites. Put the rest in there. Double check, make sure this should be done as well. They should all be done at this point. Yeah, we're right at 1.00, maybe a little bit lower. Yeah. So I'll also be back sweetening these, although it's dry, which I like dry. A little bit, maybe a little bit too dry. I usually like my meads about 1.020. So our next glass that we're using is actually from the Montezuma Winery, which is probably the first winery we stopped at when we went down to the Finger Lakes region. And they have a great selection of wines here. They've got only one mead, which is, it's okay. It's a table mead. But their wines there were really good. So if you get out to Montezuma Winery, make sure to stop and check them out. And actually, and it was their 20-year anniversary. Definitely smoother than the EC-1118. So I like that. All right. And we'll put this one here into this one. All right. And then back in for more sanitization. Be right back. All right, now we've resanitized, and we're going to do our D47 next. Let's see how that came out. This has a lighter color. Let's put this one here back up on here. So I can definitely say the 71B has a lighter color than the EC-1118. A little bit clearer as well. Interesting, this one here has more foam to it as well. We give that a spin as we go down. A lot more carbonation in it. It's right at 1.00. So we're good there. Back into our sanitation bucket. We might as well just toss this stuff in right as we go. So by comparison, so this one here we're using our Vista Vineyards glass. So this one here was not part of our tour out to New York. This is a local winery here in Michigan. We went out on the motorcycle. Oh yeah, I love riding. I've got a very nice Yamaha Stratoliner 1900, beautiful bike. Show a picture of it here. And so we rode out to Lake Michigan and went up north on Blue Star Highway. And on our way out there, we stopped off at Vista Vineyards. Absolutely beautiful. They've got good wines as well, but the view there is just breathtaking at the winery itself. So you're sitting up on top of the wineries at the top of a hill that overlooks the vineyards in all directions. Absolutely stunning view. If you're here in Michigan, you've got to stop off there. It's absolutely beautiful. They've got really good wines here. The people are really nice as well. And you can get some snacks while you're there. They've got gifts and stuff like that as well. We came home with a few bottles of wine. Probably would have brought more, but again, on a motorcycle, it's hard to hold bottles of wine underneath your arms while you steer. No, I get saddlebags for that. But you can only fit so many bottles. Still, you can only fit so many bottles. It's not like when we drove the van out to New York Finger Lakes and we were able to stock up. So. That's nice. I like that one. I might like that one better than the 71B. That is really good. I like that. Someone's gonna get toasted. All right, next bottle here. Let me see what I have. So again, when sterilizing, sanitizing, you still get some of the suds left over, and as it waits, it breaks down. I just like to pour it out. It's still fine in there. That little bit's not going to hurt you. One of the reasons to use Star San. All right, I'm going to cover this back up. Again, so even the tape, everything here has been sanitized, so we're all good there. Man, I like this one. Oh, that's good. All right, now I remember having this before, but I think I was making a mellow with it, a fruit mead with it, but on a straight mead. Wow. I'm going to make more with the D47. Absolutely. All right, and then our last one is the K1 V1116 here. All right, and we're back. And let's take that lid off again. And we'll just go ahead and get this filled up. So this has a little bit darker color, closer to the EC-1118. All right. Well, and this didn't finish. Oh, the bubble stopped. This is actually at close to where I like it, which is actually at 1.028. Yeah. Interesting. They've been going the same amount of time. It's like the, but again, it's the, it stopped activity in here. Go ahead and pour this into here. A little bit more in our glass here. All right. So this is the K1 V-1116. Now this glass here we're using is from, I don't know if you can see the logo here, it's from IronStone Meadery. Probably the coolest themed place that we went to when we went down to the Finger Lakes region. It's not actually in the Finger Lakes region, but it's along the way from here. And we wanted to stop off there. It's actually inside of a repurposed school building. They've got, looks like one of the classrooms there. They also have use of, it looks like they've got use of their cafeteria that used to be there. And they use that for their, where they actually brew, looks like. But the guys there were really cool. So, I mean, they're in full Viking gear and stuff like this here. They've got a whole Viking theme going on throughout the meadery there. And it's really cool. It's, I could see, if I lived out in that area, I would be there probably every other Friday night or something. And the people there were really cool. I really liked the guys there. Very protective of their recipes. But, you know, I don't blame them. You know, they work a lot to make their meads. It is kind of pricey, but it's good. So again, you know, one of the reasons why I make my own mead is I like it better than most of the stuff that I buy at the store. Theirs, I would say, is as good. I like theirs. But home brewing, it's going to cost less, but it takes a lot longer. You can't just run over and buy a bottle either. So if you're ever out, you know, look up IronStone Meadery, swing off. Really great place, and it's a fun place. So now on the K1 V-1116, definitely a different aroma to it. Sweet, definitely sweeter. It's not, again, it didn't go dry the way that the other three did. Well, I like that as well. That is really good. Wow. So for a straight mead, water, honey, yeast, and nutrients. Remember, the only thing different that we did here was the yeast itself, which yeast we're using. Good. This one here definitely has a more floral aroma to it. 71B. Again, very dry. I need to, we'll back sweeten it. I don't think either one of the, even this one here, even the D47 where it went dry, I wouldn't back sweeten that. These two here will need to be back sweetened for my taste. Yep. Oh, they're all good, but I think for a straight mead, D47 and K1 V-1116 are the winners on these ones here. I like those ones there. Yep. Someone's gonna get toasted. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these racked over into my carboys here. We're gonna let them sit until we run out of the other mead that's downstairs that we've already bottled up. And then we'll bottle these here. We're just gonna let them age for a little while. Let them get even better. So, hey, I hope that you've enjoyed the time here. I've had a blast making the video. learning, doing a comparison between the yeast. Definitely worth it. I would really recommend that you do the same. Try different yeast. I'm going to keep expanding my repertoire of yeast out there as well. Work with some and start checking out some of the other brands of yeast. So all these are Lalvin brand, which I know and I use and I enjoy. I'm going to try some of the other brands that are out there as well. See how those come out. In the meantime, I think it's a beautiful day out. It is October here in, well, it's October everywhere right now. But in Michigan, that means it's hunting season. So before I get toasted, I'm going to go ahead and get ready and get back out on the field. Probably won't see a whole lot of videos coming out in the near future. Things are getting real busy. But do me a favor, don't forget to click that like and the subscribe button. I'll have some additional videos pop up on the screen here with the subscribe button as well. You can use your remote on your TV to just go over and click on and subscribe. They always keep moving it around, so I'm not going to say where it's going to be from now on. So don't forget to like and subscribe to it. Leave a comment below. Tell me which type of yeast you like. If you started the video, if you started the experiment the same time that I did, and you're following along from the first video, go ahead, leave some comments down below how yours came out. So I'd love to hear from you and tell me what your favorite yeast is that you're using. So until next time, I'm Dave Hodgkins, and thanks for coming out and hanging with Hodge. Take care.